Hey everybody, sorry, this episode is going to be a lot shorter than normal. Our usual runtime is about an hour, hour and a half. This one's roughly about 32 minutes. That being said, Captain Smith has agreed to come back on, and we will be conducting another one this Friday, and I will have it released by next Wednesday. Enjoy the episode. Big scared.
Get it out.
We're on it. Man, how's life?
Man, so life for me, it's quite interesting. I kind of live a fast life a little bit. And the reason I say that because I'm in the nightlife real heavily.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a single man, no kids. I'm 31 years old. I'm in the military. I've been in the military for 10 years. I started off as a private. When I first initially got into the military, I was a little troublemaker. Once we get in, we got to be adapt. We're supposed to be adaptive, but we're not necessarily adaptive. And you're trying to break those bad habits. So
Yeah.
with me trying to break my bad habits, I was demoted twice. So I went from I came in as E3 because I had college credits because I went to Southern Miss, and then from there I was demoted to E2. Then I was demoted to E1.
Yeah.
And, I had plenty of fights in the military type stuff, so they demoted me all the way down. But then from there, once I came back home, I worked my way back up all the way to E5. I became a cadet in a Southern Miss ROTC program. Then from there, I was training to be an officer. And then from there, once I got my commission in 2019, it was always, the officer route from that point. And then I was always looking to become full-time within the military. Once I heard about the AGR programs and everything like that, because that was always my aspirations to be full-time.
Right.
And once I realized I was in the Guard and I couldn't just transfer over to active duty because I accepted the Guard scholarship, which means I had to come back to the Guard. So from that point, that eliminated that fact of me competing for active duty.
Yeah.
So from that point, I was always looking to compete and within the Guard to gain access to the AGR program to become active duty. What allowed me my opportunity was the Adjutant General, Jensen Boyles.
Oh, Boyles,
Jensen Boyles, Major General Jensen Boyles. He gave me my opportunity. I applied for the position first, as a second lieutenant, in which I wasn't selected for it, but I did real good in the interview. And then from that point, I applied for it again, and this time, the second time I applied for it, he selected me as his aide, which brought me on into the AGR full-time force.
Yeah.
So from that point, being within the Mississippi National Guard, it's been a journey. It's been a constant learning experience. It's been a constant adaptive experience from my personal life to also my, my business life. Because you meet different personnel that teach you multiple things. Just on the military side, but also things just throughout life. In which I spent a lot of time with Major General Jensen Boyles, and he had businesses outside the Mississippi National Guard because he was an MNA guy.
Yes.
And he just watching him and how he operated on his personal side, and also watching how he operated within the Mississippi National Guard, that kind of helped me develop my business aspect on, developing things outside the Mississippi National Guard.
So if you could, what I'll go ahead and explain. M-Day is going to be your average National Guard soldier, someone who works on a weekend for drill schedule. Daily basis is your AGR, Active Guard Reserve guys. So they're going to be out there every single day doing the job on the regular without being on an active duty status with the Army National Guard. You're still working for the state, however, you're based here and you're doing your job at your unit.
Yeah, so the MNA guys, the MNA guys are the guys that drill every month, 2 days or 3 days, depending on what mutal it is. They the one that drills. That's the only time they on active status, whenever they drill.
Yep.
And then they got 2 weeks out the year where they got to come do annual training.
Yep.
So those are the MNA guys. The AGR guys are the people that are your full-time personnel. That's just like regular active duty people, but they belong to the state. They belong to the Mississippi National Guard. And they operate throughout the week. They're your full-time personnel. they 7 to 5, that basically 5 o'clock type guys that operates, you know what I'm saying, make stuff happen. So whatever don't get done on the M-Day side is that it falls on them to operate it on, you know what I'm saying, to get it done on the AGR side.
So you're actually our second AGR and business individual that we've had on here.
Right.
You know who the first one is?
Who's the first one?
Sean Brown.
Sean Brown. Okay.
Yeah.
I know Brown.
Yeah. So Brown is our first guy who we had on AGR. We didn't get a lot into the aspects of how the military world goes in, how it operates. So I mean, I'm glad that we could explain a little bit of the difference in between what you do compared to what I do.
Right.
Because mine's a little bit different. I'm not there every day. I do try to do my best because as an NCO, I want to take care of my guys even when I'm not there.
Right.
So, with that being said, how has this affected your business? Like,
so being within the Mississippi National Guard, I would say it has a positive effect on my business because it gives me the resources and you know what I'm saying, necessarily, you know, speaking on funding, the funds to kind of incorporate it to my business to, you know what I'm saying, make it excel, make it excel more. For me being on the full-time personnel side, by all means, you know, my full-time job is the Mississippi National Guard, in which I'm the S4 for 890 of. So,
yeah,
you know, I look to, you know, I'm the logistic officer, you know, with that. So, I make sure I take care of all that work. But with them, you know what I'm saying, we have to operate being a logistic officer and being an S4, you're always planning, right?
Yes, sir.
You're looking at things 120 days to 90 days to 60 days before it's supposed to be executed, right?
Mm-hmm.
So from that point, it's been great to me on my personal side, on the business aspect, because it teaches me to look at things, you know what I'm saying, project things beforehand. And then when I'm drawing up my business analysis, when I'm drawing up my cost analysis, when I'm drawing up absolutely everything, it kind of helps me with that, because thing is, I'm doing that stuff on the military side, and when I operate on the military side, when I'm looking at funding for clothing, when I'm looking at the flippers, when I'm looking at the equipment that needs to be, you know what I'm saying, that we need for as far as maintenance, you know what I'm saying, taking those aspects and getting those experiences in that part, and then I bring it over to my business, it kind of just helps me excel more, because, you know what I'm saying, I'm used to dealing with those type of numbers, and I'm used to being able to project things out. So it kind of helps with that.
So you're able to see the projections on that side, and it makes you look at your business from that aspect and say, how can I project this a little bit better?
Right.
What am I looking at? What is the business going to look like in a few months?
Right.
Something like that. Okay. Yeah. And I guess my thing is, when it comes to it, you don't hear a lot of people say that about the military. They say the opposite, and it can be for individuals. You hear them say, hey, this affects my personal life, and I can't deal with the military part of it anymore.
Right.
So a lot of people get out. You have a lot of good NCOs who get out, a lot of good officers. So it's nice to hear that there is a positive side to it if you're able to find it.
You know, like with absolute, and, you know what I'm saying, by all means, you know, you got a lot of traditional, as well as a lot of AGR people who would sit there and say there's pros and cons to absolutely everything. And with a job, it's always pros to cons to everything. But me, I'm a person, I like to look at the positive aspects about everything.
Yes, sir.
Man, I think joining the military, joining the Mississippi National Guard was probably the best decision of my life, because it made me do a whole 360. You know, it gave me the discipline, it gave me the structure, it gave me the business mindset of things, and it gave me the professionalism, as well as it gave me the core values, you know what I'm saying, as far as loyalty, duty, responsibility, integrity. Like it gave me all those things, and gave me those characteristics to operate in which I take those very characteristics and I apply it to my business. Mm-hmm. When I apply it to my business, and once people see the leadership aspect of it, they once they see that leadership aspect, they be like, okay, we see how he operates, we see the professionalism in him. I don't mind following him. And when people see you about your business, when people see, you know what I'm saying, you're a good person to follow, who's morally capable, who operates in an ethical sense, who operate in a moral sense, who operate in a legal sense.
Absolutely.
They're willing to follow you absolutely everywhere you go. And, you know, the definition of leadership is, you know what I'm saying, which different people got different, you know, definition of leadership, right?
Absolutely.
Overall, leadership to me is about inspiring people to accomplish a goal, to accomplish their vision.
So I agree. My definition of it, I guess, is be there for them when they're not there.
Yeah,
you know,
most definitely.
So That's always been my biggest thing, because as a soldier, I had people who were there, but I also had people who weren't there.
Right.
And the ones that weren't there, they stick with you a little bit more than the ones who were there.
Right.
So you look at that and you want to say, okay, well, I don't want to be like this guy, right?
Right.
And so you become the person who is there when they're not there. Like, you could sit here all day, tell your soldiers to their face, I take care of you guys, I do this for you guys. Do it behind their backs, though.
No.
Speak it. You know what I'm saying? There's not a lot of people who do that. And just like we talked about at the beginning, before this, there's a lot of toxicity in the military. And that's where it starts.
It definitely is. So I have this mindset. I have this philosophy where all leaders are great leaders, no matter how they operate. All leaders are great leaders, and the reason I say that, because you have those leaders that's going to show you exactly what to do, what's going to work, and those are the NCOs, those are the commissioned officers, those are the warrant officers that's going to absolutely show you exactly what to do, what works, so you can be successful.
Mm-hmm.
But then you have those other leaders who's toxic, who have bad ways, who methods do not work. And I think those are great leaders too, because guess what? They are showing you what doesn't work.
Absolutely.
So, with them showing you what doesn't work, you as an individual, you're supposed to take heed of that and be like, I've seen this experience, I've seen how this unfolds. By all means, I'm going to operate in a sense, and I'm going to make it my own, and I'm going to make sure I take heed to the people that have shown me what does work.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I'm going to critique it, and I'm going to make it my own to where it works for me.
And I appreciate that, because that's exactly what I think. You're learning from that person no matter what. And I never looked at it as they're great leaders because of the simple fact that they're showing you what not to do.
Right.
I just looked at it as it's terrible, and then you got good.
Yeah.
So, no, I appreciate that mindset. That's actually really nice to look at it from that direction.
It honestly definitely is. And listen, and that's within all ranks. That's with absolutely all ranks. Because no matter rank you, or what rank you is, right is right, wrong is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not operating in the standards, in the expectations, if you're not operating by our code, if you're not operating within the regulations, if we're not operating within our regulations on what's black and white.
Yep.
And then also, and this is me being transparent and being honest with you, we have our black and white. We have our black and white in which we're supposed to operate in. But there's always that small gray area, that little gray area that you have to operate in to make sure stuff gets done.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe the people that's about just black and white, and this is just my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
This is just my opinion. This is not you know what I'm saying,
the Army's view.
No, the Army view is anything like that. This is just my opinion. Sometimes you, outside of black and white, you have to operate in that gray area to make sure things get done and to make sure you're taking care of your soldiers.
Absolutely.
Because I'm all for taking care of my soldiers, especially my subordinates, the ones that's under me, the ones that's part of my unit, the ones that I oversee that's, as part of my battalion. With me being an S4, I'm all for, by all means, I look to operate within that black and white area as much as I possibly can.
Absolutely.
I'm going to make sure I apply to all regulations as possible. But then there's always that little part where you got to skip over to that little small, by all means, this is the wrong area right here.
Yeah.
But there's a small gray area right there
in the middle of
that you have to, and that's building the relationships with people.
Yep.
And that's making sure when you gotta not necessarily skip chain of command,
you
just have to follow up with multiple people to make sure stuff is being accurately seen the way it needs to be seen, and stuff is being accurately done the way it needs to be done.
Yeah, and so that's the bend don't break area.
That's
You're
right.
bending what the regulation says, but you're not going to break it.
No,
you just
you're not gonna break it
right there.
Right.
Yes, sir.
And with you being as an NCO, I know you're quite familiar with it, because y'all are the executors, and I know y'all are the person like us commissioned officers, in which I'm a captain. Us commissioned officers, we kind of let y'all know the area where we're trying to go in, and then as we help assist y'all with after everything, y'all are the main executors of it. In which, I'm saying, and which by all means, I've learned throughout my time being in the Mississippi National Guard, I lead through my NCOs.
Yeah.
Saying I'm not a big micromanager. I have the people that's under me. I give them my standards and my expectations. They sign that council. I counsel them. They sign that council statement, and they let me know they adhere to absolutely everything that I'm saying. I don't look to micromanage them.
Yeah.
I trust the fact that they're going to operate in the sense that, you know what I'm saying, I want them to operate in which, by all means, I also listen to them as well, because they help advise me, because if I'm wrong, I want you to let me know I'm wrong so I can correct it.
Yeah,
So,
and there's some things they may bring to the table, a little bit more experience. I know you have Sergeant Tran, who's
Sergeant
in
Tran
there.
is correct.
So he's a little bit more experienced guy. You got
He is.
even Kenny. I love
yup.
Kenny.
Well, I love Kenny to death. By all means, he'll do everything. He has done absolutely everything I have asked him to do. He has exceeded all my standards and expectations. By all means, you know, initially, you know, coming, you know, people got different opinions of people, right?
Yep.
But me, I'm a person, I get my own experience with you. What you present to the table from our initial interaction, and then from on, once I start paying attention to you, by all means, that is your experience with me. And that's what I'm going off. And my experience with Zachary Kenny has been absolutely amazing. He exceeds my expectations on all scenarios.
He got a bad rap on Mission, and that wasn't his fault, in my opinion.
Right.
There's a lot of stuff that was said and done, and you can't look at it, an experience like that. That was such a different mission than what anyone was ever used to.
Right.
Don't get me wrong, it was an easy one.
Right.
But it was very admin heavy.
Right.
It was a lot of just like find busy work for people who aren't admin to do. Like that's all it was. So like you look at something like that, you put an NCO like Kenny in that position, like, and you want him just to find work. Like Kenny likes a direction, right? You tell him, he's gonna get that shit done.
He is.
He's gonna get it done.
You tell him something, he dives straight into it, full focus. And matter of fact, Sergeant First Class Tran.
Yeah.
I tell Tran, we talk on a daily basis. I tell Tran all the time, he's like a robot, because he just don't stop. He does not say, he has this mindset, and like, even with things that we've ironed out our lanes, hey, listen, you gonna take care of this, I'm gonna take care of this. Even then, even after he take care of all his stuff, he comes spot check me, in which, you know what I'm saying, every now and then I'll go spot check him on things.
Yeah.
But he comes spot check me like on absolutely everything. And I'm just like, hey man, you know, I got it taken care of. He was just like, sir, I know you do, but you know what I'm saying, as me being your SEO, I want to make sure everything is done correctly. And by all means, I have no, you know, a lot, as some people would take it as disrespect.
Yeah.
Some people would take it as, hey man, listen, you need to stay in your lane, all this. By all means, I respect it more than ever, because guess what? The fact that you're taking, you know what I'm saying, you're taking on that responsibility, you're taking on that accountability, and by all means, you're willing to come to me and let me know that I'm wrong, in the sense of, if anything is wrong, but I got the utmost respect for that.
That's appreciative, honestly, because you don't have that a lot. A lot of people, especially in my experience, officers, when you come to them and say, hey, you're wrong,
Right.
It's like, who the fuck is this guy? Who the fuck you think you are? And it's nice to hear someone say, hey, like, I can appreciate when you tell me I'm wrong, because if I'm wrong, you only want what's best for me.
Right.
Especially if you're in that section, right? I dealt with an officer, like I said, no names, nothing. If I'm talking great about someone, I'll say it. I'll say the name, but I'm not going to talk bad about someone and put their name out here.
Most definitely. Especially within the Mississippi Guard, because, you know what I'm saying, your reputation is...
Exactly.
Your reputation is absolutely everything. Perception is absolutely everything.
Yeah, even though we have a very strong presence of Mississippi National Guard that listens to the podcast, there's a lot who don't, but I don't want them to meet that person and get the wrong idea, because they may change, right?
Right.
So this officer in general just could not figure out a way to trust me and Sergeant Brown.
Okay.
And it's like we've got you. Like, we're not here to fuck you over, because at the end of the day, if S1 wins, everybody wins, in my opinion.
I absolutely agree with that.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Those shops, the S1, the S4, the S3, the S6, we're the people that drive battalion.
Yep.
And then, you know what I'm saying, those subordinate units that's under us, you know what I'm saying, it's our job to assist them with absolutely everything.
Yep.
And in my opinion, it's our job to assist y'all with absolutely everything. Because if y'all fail, we fail. So especially once we push things up to brigade.
Yep.
So, you know, with that, we are the guy. We are I view us as the people that's supposed to catch those errors, those incorrections, and correct them before we push it up to, you know what I'm saying, our higher echelons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think there's a very, very misconstrued perception of how S1 and all of us work, right?
Right.
We're looked at as as not tools. Essentially, that's what we are, as a tool to help you better yourself at a company level. A lot of companies look at us as though, hey, you're going to help me do my job, and I want to be able to have you come in here and do my job. We don't work like that. We are tools to assist you in making your job better and to make your product better at the end of the day that you deliver to us. That way we don't look like fools, you don't look like fools, the commander don't look like fools.
Correct.
And it's very misconstrued at a lower level because you've had so many years of people just saying, hell with it, I'll just take care of it myself. Right. And it's like, you can't do that. You have to teach these people, say, hey, because the way I look at it is almost as if you're teaching a child. Like, they're not children, obviously. You got respect for everybody.
Right.
But the way you got to look at it is as if you're teaching a child, because if you continue to let a child have a bad behavior for their entire life, they're going to have bad behavior at the end of the day when they're 20 years old, right? So you just got to teach them, hey, this is what you got to do. This is how you do it. You got to give them the tools in life to make them better. And I think it's the same way with the military.
Absolutely. So within just the military aspect, I think, you know what I'm saying, like I said before, joining the military was probably the best decision of my life. Because not only did it give me the structure, not only did it give me the discipline, not only give me the respect, not only did it give me just the whole discipline aspect of things, but it also gave me the life coping skills.
Yes.
And those life coping skills, you know what I'm saying, the people that you meet throughout the military, I'm a lot closer with people that I'm in the military that I actually grew up with in my own neighborhood.
Same, yeah.
Like, you know, like it's, and the very things that you learn from them, you know what I'm saying, and those life coping skills that you learn from them, because everybody goes through it. Everybody has a battle. Everybody deals with life, and know what I'm saying, no matter what you go through, you're going to always deal with life. Yeah. You're going to always have your ups and downs, right?
And everybody's ups and downs are different, right? So what's that saying? The worst day of your life could be a flat tire.
Right.
Or the worst day in your life could have been your uncle coming to your house and killing your mom. Like, some shit like that, right?
Right.
Like, the worst day in your life is always measured off of the actual person's experience of life. Not to cut you off, but that's essentially, like, where we're going with it is, like, the worst day of your life is always different depending on the individual, right?
Right.
And the military gave me coping skills to be able to figure out, hey, that's how I could deal with this. It gave me the people in my life who I could trust to go back on and say, hey, how would you deal with this?
Exactly. And I remember reading this quote. I'm heavy on quotes. I'm heavy on philosophy. And I remember like reading this quote that said, one of the greatest lessons you'll learn throughout life is a person can change their future by merely changing their attitude on the way they approach things.
Absolutely.
So when you're you know what I'm saying, I think the secret to the universe is the law of attraction. You know, what you put out to the universe, that is what you attract to yourself. So when you're constantly being positive, you're going to attract positivity. When you're in a negative mind state, that's what you're going to attract, negativity. Mario Novak, he was a philosopher. He said the mind is everything. Every thought you create finds a way to manifest itself into the world. So if you have a goal, you have a vision, you have a thought, and it doesn't come true, it's because you didn't believe in it enough. When you absolutely believe in absolutely what you're thinking of, it's going to happen.
So is that why you decided to get into the club?
You know, the crazy thing about this is it's not even a club; it's a restaurant.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
It's a restaurant. And,
I looked it up.
We're heavily on nightlife, so a lot of people think it's a club. A lot of people think it's a hookah bar and lounge, but we're actually just a restaurant.
Wait, let's throw the name out. What's the name?
11 Gulf Coast.
11 Gulf Coast. Go look it up, and you're gonna fucking find the food that they serve. That shit looks bomb.
So we have three people. We have Jemiah Mormon, who is the owner, and you have myself, and which is Michael Smith, and you also have Darian McInnes. You know what I'm saying? We're the people that help manage the place, that, you know what I'm saying, oversees absolutely everything for the place. So Jemiah vision, when, you know what I'm saying, when he first was developing this place and everything, he was just like, we was all heavily on a nightlife scene. You know, we went out to hella places. We saw the aspect of it, and, you know, everybody was always in constant communication, like, man, hey, listen, we can, and which we all ambitious, we all got our own our own goals, our own, vision on very things that we want to happen. And he was like, Jemiah, he's the CEO of Lakeland Tours, a charter bus company.
Oh, really?
He has a charter bus company which he's looked to implement throughout. He transported for Jackson State. He's looking to transport within the military. He's looking to transport, looking to transport without absolutely anybody. But he was like, hey, listen, he also had a restaurant which was called, it was a seafood restaurant, which was called Jay's. And it went very good throughout, it was throughout COVID. It was throughout COVID. He opened up this restaurant,
that's
and
a hard time.
it went absolute, throughout that time, man, everything was kind of shut down, and it went absolutely amazing.
That's nice.
And from there, he looked to open up this spot right here. And the goal of this place was to bring being within Gulfport, Mississippi. It wasn't necessarily a lot to do down here besides the casinos, besides big play, besides you going to these little hitting the beach. There wasn't necessarily much to do around here.
Yeah.
So we wanted to provide another place that kind of brought the Houston, the Atlanta, the Vegas, the Tampa, the Florida type vibes. Producing a place where you can come and get good R&B music. You come get good turn up music. You're able to not necessarily, be on a club scene, but to provide an experience to where you're able to bring a person to a elegant spot. Where you can dress up, where you can come out, where you don't have to worry about the youngsters, fighting, shooting, like that. Want to provide a place where they can come here, sit back, relax, drink, smoke, and just really enjoy themselves and just vibe out to some good music and enjoy themselves on the dating scene.
Yeah, this reminds me. There's a place I never got the name of it. I just remember it real well because I was able to kick back like this and just chill. So we were in Arizona, in the spot. You go inside, order your drink, come outside, and they had a lounge area. And like a lot of people, like, don't get me wrong, I don't mind going out, hanging out with my friends, stuff like that. But like to chill, like to be able to sit here and talk, you don't get that in a lot of these places that are down here. It's a bunch of like young kids going out, trying to drink, trying to fucking have a great time. Like I said, all for it. But there was nowhere like this down here. So to have a spot where you could come and you could actually relax and actually have a good time, like that's something that the coast was missing, in my opinion.
Right.
Somewhere like this, comedy clubs, stuff like that. And I know we talked about it. You do different events throughout the week.
That's correct. So Wednesdays is our R&B nights. Mm-hmm. Thursdays is Wednesdays is our karaoke nights. My apologies, I misspoke. Mm-hmm. Wednesdays is our karaoke nights. Thursdays is our R&B nights. Fridays is our date night. Saturdays is our sold out nights. And then Sundays is our Sunday Fun Day events, right? So that's the typical things. Now, throughout those days on each things, we host like different events, different themes throughout those days, and we prevent different specials throughout the day. To bring people in and attract them to, by all means, want to come to the spot and want to get a good experience at the spot. And by all means, we never looking to bust anybody head on absolutely anything.
Yeah.
Our prices are absolutely fair and everything like that. We just want people to come out and have a good time and experience something different than just the outside thing that they were constantly getting. When they come to Gulfport, Mississippi, because the stanza and the perception of Gulfport, Mississippi is all things is ratchet and bad. So we wanted to produce something a little bit different from that kind of let you know, hey, listen, no, it's it's more to Gulfport, Mississippi than that. And so like a few events that we constantly host is like we have our poetry night coming up. We have our pop the loon night coming up. By all means, we have our country themes, where we do our line dances things coming up, and we have different people come here and like host different events. That's big. That's big for the things they do. We have different influencers that come here and they host events here as well. To kind of attract the crowd and just let them know, hey, listen, this is a place. This is absolutely a venue to where you can absolutely hold anything because we don't shut anything off, and we look to tailor everybody's experiences to exactly what we need. We have an operational manager by the name of Kaylin Harmon, and we also have a second operational manager by the name of Ariel Hamilton, who actually is a person that does our reservations. So once you once you're doing inquiry over our reservations, one of our operational managers is probably going to reach out to you, and then once they reach out to you, they're going to see what type of event that you want to do when you put in your inquiry. So you can say it's a birthday, you can say it's a wedding engagement, you can say it's absolutely anything.
Yeah, anything.
We're going to try to tailor to your expectations to where we can make your experience here the greatest experience ever.
Okay, so not just a restaurant, not just a bar, it's not just a lounge. It's a venue.
It's a venue.
It's
absolutely
a venue.
Right.
Nice.
Absolutely
I like
right.
that.
And we also cater as well. So we look to expand our catering business as well. So, like for instance, I know within the military, when we come to drill, we cater different meals for our individual soldiers as well. We look to get on their aspect list of kind of catering as well. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't shut down the door for any type of business. Like we want to be very versatile in our aspect, and as well as we tailor to all crowds. So whatever it is, whatever it's do, if we can make it work, we're gonna make it work.
I like that. Yeah. So you want your fingers in every single pot essentially.
If we can put it in it, we're gonna put our hand in it.
I like it, sir. So you enjoy it? You enjoy this?
So I absolutely do. So within my background, with me coming from where I come from, with my whole throughout all my experiences and everything like this, I was always kind of engaged in the nightlife, right? And as I paid attention to it, and once I developed my business mindset, in which I have a degree in business administration entrepreneurship, and I'm getting my master's in business administration to get my MBA.
Okay.
So everywhere I go, and everything that I look at, no matter where I go, when I go out of town, when I'm in town, when I go to a different spot besides this place right here, I'm always looking at the business side of things. And I'm always looking to see what makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What can I implement for myself, and what can I put in place for myself or my LLC, or for my businesses, to kind of help bring in more residual profit, to bring in that kind of help make things better for my individual businesses.
Absolutely.
And that's also within the military. I take those experiences that I learned without the military, now apply them to my businesses as well, because I want to see what makes sense. Because the thing is, we can't stay in the military forever, right?
No, I don't plan on anything.
Admin nerds.
That's gonna be a sound clip.
Hi guys.